tissue here? No special name. Type of tissue here? Name? Papillary layer of dermis? Down here? Type first? DI? CT? Dense irregular connective tissue? Name? Reticular layer of dermis. And then for the epithelia, type? With goblet cells and microvilli, even though it looks like cilia, unfortunately. There is no name, and the reason is different mucous membranes have different types of epithelia. So there's no one name that fits all of them. But since the connective tissue is consistent, we can give that a name. So that's the lamina propria. This epithelium? Type is simple squamous. Name? Mesothelium. No special name for the areola. And then type of epithelium? Keratinized, stratified, squamous. Because you can't be stratified and simple, you're one or the other. On the right, these cellular extensions.
Cilia.
And on the left?
Microvilli.
And the name of the cell membrane at the bottom of the cell. Basal membrane. The name of this cell membrane, part of the epithelial cell itself, as opposed to this membrane under the basal membrane of the epithelial cell. Basement membrane. What's the top half of the basement membrane called? Basal lamina. Which cells secrete basal lamina? The epithelial cells. What's the bottom half of basement membrane called? Lamina reticularis, or reticular lamina. Which cells secrete the matrix? Because these are both extracellular matrices. Which cells secrete the matrix of the bottom half, the reticular layer? Fibroblasts, connective tissue cells. Type of epithelium, these are all the same, the cartoon and the real type.
Pseudostratified.
If it has cellular specialization or extension, start with that. Ciliated, pseudostratified, columnar with goblet cells. Function. Secrete mucus and then use the cilia to sweep it out of the airways so it doesn't get deep in the lungs. So there's a term that refers to that process of trapping particles with mucus and then using the cilia to sweep it out. Mucociliary escalator. So that would refer to airways below the throat, like the trachea and the main bronchi, because they're sweeping the mucus up. Name of the protein secreted by the goblet cell. Mucin. How is it secreted? Exocytosis. This kind of pink band at the bottom of the epithelium here. Basement membrane, yes. Same thing over here. So what type of tissue is this right underneath the basement membrane? Areolar. Name? Lamina propria. It's a mucous membrane, right? Mm-hmm. Most likely from the respiratory tract. Type of membrane junction here. Up here. Tight junctions over here.
Gap.
Gap junctions, and then down at the bottom here and here.
Some.
Hemidesmosome. Alright, so down here, from here to here, so all the blue, what's this called? Basement membrane. Right? Top half of basement membrane. Nope. Basal lamina. Bottom half of basement membrane. Reticular lamina. Then go back to the top half. Subdivide that into the two layers. Top half of basal lamina. Clear layer. Bottom half of basal lamina. Dense layer. So that's where you get lamina lucida, lamina densa. Those are the two divisions of basal lamina. Basal lamina plus reticular lamina is the basement membrane. Type of epithelium on the bottom right. Stratified columnar. Right? All that matters when it's stratified is the shape of the apical cells, not the shape of the basal cells.
Simple squamous.
Simple squamous. Location.
Lungs.
Air sacs or alveoli of the lung. Function there.
Filtration.
No filtration. Filtration would be bad. That result in pneumonia. Gas exchange. Top right, it's a surface view of simple squamous. It's mesothelium actually. So you can see kind of the 6 sides, the hexagonal shape to the cells. Over here, this is Bowman's capsule. So what type of cell forms the capsule itself? Here's a nucleus here, 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 simple squamous, right? And then you have the kidney tubules to the side. What type of epithelium is this? And over here, simple cuboidal, right? I think this is heart. So what lines the heart? Simple squamous. Name? Endothelium. Same thing for blood vessels. Type of tissue?
Squamous. Squamous.
Non-keratinized, stratified squamous. Type of tissue here? Areolar connective tissue. Up here?
Thick skin.
The whole thing, but what's this up here? Stratum corneum. And here? And how about these bumps? Friction ridges or not dermal, epidermal ridges. On the left, type? Non-keratinized, stratified squamous. Type?
Simple cubital.
Simple cuboidal. Location?
Kidneys.
Kidney
Simple.
tubules again. Cross section over here, longitudinal section. Simple cuboidal. How about that dark band around the outside of each one?
Basal.
Basement membrane. These. Stratified cuboidal. Location. Ducts of some glands. In this case, which gland?
Soy gland.
It's not apocrine because the duct goes to the surface of skin.
Eccrine.
Eccrine is sweat gland. This would be a really big duct down here. That would be duct of some gland. And quite often that some gland is salivary. Type?
Simple columnar.
Yep. Microvilli as well. See the fuzzy brush border there on top? Goblet cells. Locations? Right, so if you just think digestive system and I ask for 3 locations, you can use digestive system for all 3. Stomach, small intestine, large intestine. There you go. Now, this is from a salivary gland.
Columnar.
Which goes back to duct, so some gland. Stratified columnar. Got to look at the apical cells or the luminal cells. Ciliated, pseudostratified columnar. And the location that they're showing here?
Trachea.
Trachea. What type of cartilage do you find in the trachea? Hyaline. Type? Transitional. So urinary system, and that includes the renal pelvis, which is the funnel that leads into the ureter. Right? The renal pelvis is on the outside of the kidney. It's part of the kidney technically. So the renal pelvis, the ureter, the urinary bladder, the proximal urethra. I didn't mention the renal pelvis. It mentions it in the book. So the 3 I told you was ureter, bladder, urethra.
Did you say just urinary system?
You could, but what if I asked for 2 locations or 3? Then you would want to name the individual organs. Stretched or relaxed on the right?
Stretched.
Flattens out when the organ is stretched. Type of epithelium forming these endocrine glands here. Simple cuboidal. And the name of this particular endocrine gland?
Thyroid gland.
Thyroid, which means shield shape. So here's the thyroid cartilage, and then just below it, the thyroid gland. Both are in the neck. Goblet cell. What's in the vesicles? Mucin. Right, so another example where they show you very specific cellular features, nucleus, instructions for making the protein, RAR, where you make the protein, vesicles, store the protein, released by exocytosis at the top, and the protein is mucin. Structural class, starting top left.
Simple alveolar.
Simple tubular, bottom left. Simple alveolar or acinar. This one?
Simple
Simple
tubular.
branch tubular down here.
Simple branch alveolar.
Simple branch alveolar, top right.
Compound tubular.
Compound tubular. Bottom right.
Compound alveolar.
Tubulo-alveolar. Compound tubulo-alveolar. And then this one's compound alveolar. Mode of secretion on the left.
Merocrine.
Merocrine, which is using exocytosis to secrete, but it's called merocrine. Mode of secretion on the right.
Holocrine.
Which gland uses holocrine?
Sebaceous oil gland.
Name a gland that uses merocrine. Eccrine, apocrine, sweat glands. Mode of secretion?
Apocrine.
Apocrine. The gland that uses this mode of secretion? Mammary gland. This first half of chapter 4.
Where have you been?
Type of tissue?
Mesenchyme.
Mesenchyme. Cells. Name of cells.
Mesenchymal.
Mesenchymal mesenchymal cells, or mesenchymal stem cells, if you want. Type? Areolar.
Connective tissue.
Class. What class of connective tissue is areolar? Connective tissue proper. Which subclass of connective tissue proper? Loose.
Oh.
So if we go backwards to the origin, it goes areolar, loose connective tissue proper, mesenchyme, and mesoderm. So mesoderm cells give rise to mesenchymal stem cells,
That's
which
enough.
give rise to fibroblasts, which produce connective tissue proper, loose and dense. Type?
Loose.
Areolar again. Name some cells found in areolar. So you can always start with your blast cells. Fibroblast,
Fibroblast.
fibrocyte, mast cells, macrophages, and really you can just start naming white blood cells. Neutrophils, maybe some basophils going through there. How about non-white blood cells? Lymphocytes are white blood cells, but those would be found there too. So non-white blood cells, you've got fibroblast, fibrocyte, and adipocytes. Fibers found here. Collagen,
Reticular.
elastic,
Reticular.
reticular. Describe the ground substance.
Gel-like.
As gel-like as cartilage? So much thinner than cartilage. Functions of the ground substance. So it, first and foremost, as a fluid connective tissue, it's a transport medium for dissolved substances. And I shouldn't say ground substance itself as a fluid connective tissue, but the fluid, remember, cycles between plasma, interstitial fluid, and lymph. So interstitial fluid, which is what ground substance is constantly being made, and it's constantly leaving the tissue. So it's coming in through capillary walls as filtrate, it's going out into the lymphatic system, and it's constantly circulating. So it's not really a static fluid. It's renewed all the time. Type? Areolar. Cells here, and here, and here, and here. Fibroblast, fibrocyte. How about the bigger, like, kind of pink bands running through? Those are the collagen. Type?
Adipose.
So the cell's adipocyte, the tissue,
Adipose.
adipose. Class? Connective tissue proper. Loose or dense? Loose. Unilocular or multilocular adipocytes? Unilocular. How about bottom left? Multilocular is the only example that I showed you. This is unilocular adipocytes, where the stain is actually staining lipids. So all the red is those giant lipid droplets with triglycerides filling them inside. On the right, that's where, to me, it looks kind of like chicken wire.
Reticular. Loose.
Particular
Reticular.
connective tissue. So think lymphatic system, lymphatic organ system, and from there you can come up with locations: spleen,
And this.
lymph nodes, bone marrow, and then outside of lymphatic system, liver. Right? And what does the mattress of fibers produce? What does it form? Stroma. And within the stroma, you find cells. In this case, some red blood cells, some white blood cells, and the spleen.
Regular.
Dense regular connective tissue.
Dense, regular, connective tissue, DRCT. Structures made from, instead of location, I would really say structures in this case. Tendons and ligaments. Right? And then the flattened version of a tendon is called aponeurosis. Dense, regular again.
Yeah.
Here.
Then
Elastic.
erect.
Or dense, regular, elastic connective tissue. Better name because it tells you it belongs to the subclass dense, and that all the fibers, although mostly elastic, run in parallel. Regular tells you they run in parallel. And these black bands aren't individual elastic fibers, they're bundles, or really sheets. You can't tell from this view, but it's a sheet of elastic fibers, so they're called elastic laminae. Location found.
Big arteries.
Walls of large blood vessels like the aorta, and some spinal ligaments. Not most. Most are dense, regular, collagen, but some, where you need extra flexibility. So on the left, this is from a spinal ligament, cervical spinal ligament, and then on the right, that's from aorta. So they are both, again, elastic connective tissue, or dense, regular, elastic connective tissue. The L is lamina there. Dense, irregular connective tissue. Locations. Joint capsule, organ
Epidermis.
capsules, and some organs. I showed you cross-section through a testis, male gonad. Dermis, which layer?
Reticular.
Reticular layer of the dermis. So joint capsules, organ capsules, reticular layer of the dermis. So here's the brown stuff. That's the capsule of the testis. So that is dense, irregular. And then down here, it's the bottom half of the dermis.
Dense irregular.
Tissue,
Fibrins.
blood. Right? It's clotted blood, so you can see the fibers called fibrin.
Cartilage.
Hyaline cartilage. The cavities within which the cells reside are called lacunae. The cells are chondroblasts and chondrocytes.